Well, would you look at that? It says our Microsoft Security Essentials is out of date. Well, let's click on that and fix that. As you can see, it's still complaining that we're out of date. Do you want to run this? Yeah, of course I trust the publisher. All right, we're searching for an update, and would you look at that? It says we're out of date, but it says the definitions were created on February 26, 2025 at 3:17 a.m. It last updated on February 28th at like 3 p.m. And we're on version 1.423.125.0. But if I try to update our definitions, it will search, but then immediately fail. Why is that? Why is it not letting us update this anymore? And why did it work last month? Well, anyways, hi, this is Julia, and I'm here with a pretty important video, especially for the Windows 7 users out there who still use Windows 7. And as you guys can see, Microsoft Security Essentials, which you can install on Windows 7, and it's basically Windows Defender, but for Windows 7. Well, it turns out that it has stopped receiving definition updates. And this was very recent that this happened, because I was experiencing this problem last night. Now, this computer I had pulled out like the week prior because I was doing maintenance on it. And yes, I did forget to change the background. It's not even Christmas anymore, and I still have a Christmas wallpaper on it. But that's because I already planned on reinstalling the machine back to Windows 10 anyway, since I have a lot of 7 systems. But I was working on a computer over here. Now, this is my HP Pavilion DD6. I decided to restore it back to the factory install. And, you know, obviously, I wanted to have security essentials. Anyway, with this computer, I decided to install security essentials on here, which we will go check out. So I'm going to open it. And I actually had to reset this computer again because it kept shutting off and it caused the OS to corrupt, and I had to reinstall Windows 7. And even before I reinstalled it, I had Security Essentials and it did update. But once I reinstalled Windows 7 and re-updated it and everything, I cannot get Security Essentials to take an update. And as you guys can see, it does say the definitions were also created on the 26th. It says it last updated on the 5th, but you could see it did not, because you can see our definition version. So 1.423.125.0, which actually says the same thing over here, which is weird. So maybe it did? I don't know. This is really confusing, but I think it always says that. It claims it updated, but I don't think it updated at all. As you can see, if I try to update the definitions. So as you guys can see, the definitions were created on February 26th, which was the last definitions Microsoft actually pushed through Windows Update and to MSE, which the other laptop had pulled the definitions 2 days after that. I'm assuming through Windows Update because it did install updates that day, but obviously it now won't even connect to the servers at all. It's unknown as to when it couldn't, but I'm assuming on the 26th or soon after. So this actually is the last update for the definitions, which is 1.423.125.0, and I can confirm that because I went to update history on this computer, and the last update here was the 28th, and it did the security update for Security Essentials, well, the Security Intelligence update, and it is version 1.423.125.0. So that is the last update it ever got for Security Essentials on this laptop. And Windows Update does offer the definitions. So I will check updates on this again, and we'll find out it won't pull anything. And we'll check on this one. It's possible that Windows Update might have installed the last definition. So let's go to our update history. It might be in here. So it did actually get some sort of update here for Windows Defender. But this is for Windows Defender antivirus, not Microsoft Security Essentials. And this is 1.423.249.0. And this is 125.0. So it's still higher than what that is, as you guys can see if you compare the versions there. Defender and Security Essentials are basically the same, and this is a newer update than what this gave us. So I don't know how it got this definition, because before it wouldn't, unless it did when I installed Security Essentials, maybe it somehow grabbed it. But we are going to install it on a virtual machine in this video as well, and just to demonstrate what it does. I did actually read up about this. There was a Reddit post I'll link down below of somebody saying that it seems Windows 7 has not been installing updates for Microsoft Security Essentials anymore, but I did hear that if you try to install it manually, it works. But we are going to give that a try as well to see, is it really dead? I mean, it'd be pretty sad because, you know, what antivirus is there to really use on Windows 7 anymore? You know, I thought, you know, MSE was a pretty good antivirus for 7 because it's basically just Windows Defender, you know? And Windows Defender has been protecting me on my systems. I don't even bother installing a third-party antivirus. So if I go back to my ProBook over here, Windows says it's up to date and that there's no updates available. I view the update history, and yeah, still install some Office updates, and then the Security Essentials, that's when I was last on here working on it, and it did update successfully. So yeah, the fact it's March 6th, it's not pulling anything. That's the last definition. And that's happening on 2 computers, as you can see. Same problem. It even has the same definitions created on date on both of them. So it's like Windows 7 can't communicate anymore with the servers, which is pretty unfortunate if you ask me. And if I scroll down, there's another definition update, 1.423.196.0. which is still higher than .125.0, and this was also on the same day. Because I do update pretty often. The definitions usually update every hour, and those were installed a couple hours apart. So that tells me, because if I click on this one, 245, and then I click on this one and it says 439, you can see the number jumped. So it did update the definition. And, you know, 7 does have Defender, but it's not the same. It's more of like a scanner. It's not really going to protect you against, like, actual, like, viruses that, like, go on the machine unless you, like, scan. So it's different. Oh, actually, it did. Look at this. So Security Essentials did pull an update for 1.423.125.0 on the 5th. So yes, it does get its last update through Windows Update. It just won't update on Security Essentials itself. So that's what it seems like here. This is the last update that Windows Update will pull, and the last update it will ever get. Unless you maybe install manually, or maybe this is a bug, although I really feel like it's intentional and that Microsoft is trying to get you to stop using Windows 7 because they want you to move on. Now, I'm not sure if this affects like Windows 8. I don't even know if you can have Security Essentials on Windows 8. If you guys know, you can feel free to leave a comment. But I'm not talking about 8.1 because I know 8.1 had Defender, but I don't think 8 did. Where it was like worse on Windows 8. It was kind of like the 7 Defender, I think. Anyways, let's hop over to my VM now and see what's going on there. Okay, so we are on our Windows 7 VM, which we don't have it installed yet, but we do have the installer. We're first gonna open Windows Update just to show. I actually just updated this to the last 7 updates, so 2020 January. I did not do any like ESU or anything on here. So it's just, you know, normal Windows 7 here. And obviously, it does have the latest Defender definition, or one of the newer ones. This one's 1.423.249.0. Maybe that is the last one. I don't know. I think the other one had that too. But anyways, we are going to close this. We're going to install Microsoft Security Essentials on this VM. So here's the installer. Next. I agree. I don't want to join that program. Next. I don't like auto sample submission because it just randomly submits your files. We're going to install it. And as you can see, it just talks about it may conflict if you have another one. We don't install. And we're going to let this install. So now it says it's completed. We successfully completed the Security Essentials install wizard. It wants us to update it. We're not going to tell it to scan, but it's going to open and immediately try to update and probably not update because clearly something's wrong. So this is trying to update and we probably won't get too far. Okay, it is downloading something. That is a surprise. What is this gonna install though? Is this gonna install the same one that's on the others? Or is it actually gonna install the latest? Because it is installing something. Oh! Virus-inspired definitions could not be updated. This app couldn't check for virus-inspired definition updates. Check your internet or network connection and try again. That is a new message. It did give us an error code though, so let me go punch that into my error lookup tool. So I have this useful thing where I could just type error, and then I could type an error code, so 0x. So this says content decoding has failed. I don't know what that means, but apparently that's what this error code is. That is a weird error. Okay. And it says connection failed. So again, it still says definitions created on the 26th of February, last updated today, and the same version. Yep, if I go to update history, you will see security intelligence update for Microsoft Security Essentials. It's the same. It's the exact same definition. So it will install that one, but that's from February 26th. It won't grab anything past February 26th. Okay, we're back with the Reddit post. I pulled this up and you guys could see it says looks like MSC updates are starting to fail. Manual updates still work. Latest updates can be found here. Well, let's test it. So if I scroll down, we'll see right here, Microsoft Security Essentials 64-bit. So let's click on this. And it wants to download some weird file, but let's just do it. Okay, this is the file it gave us, which kind of looks weird, honestly, not gonna lie, but this is a newer version, 1.423.265.0. If I go to this website right here, that is the latest definition as of the 7th, even though it's the 6th. I don't understand that. We're going to try this method. Will this work? Let's find out. So it's running something. If I go to Task Manager, show all processes. I believe this is for the antivirus right here. It is using CPU, so I think it is actually updating it potentially. But we're just gonna give that a minute. So you guys can see, it's not really doing anything anymore. So let's go and open MSE. And you can see it actually says up to date. So if I go to update, we are indeed on the new definition. So it does look like the Reddit post was correct. You can still update Security Essentials, but you have to go and download the updates manually every single time. Which in my opinion, I think is a little annoying that you have to go and download them and that it won't just update automatically without downloading them. This is the old one, so it won't show in Windows Update history, it looks like, but all you have to do is double click the file. It doesn't show anything, but we saw it using resources, and then afterwards we went over to here and it did successfully install. So would I still use Security Essentials? I mean, you technically still can. You just have to manually install the update every time, which I will leave a link to the Reddit post and a link to the Microsoft site in case something happens with the Reddit post. So basically, it's either you end up keeping Security Essentials and just manually applying the updates, switch to another third-party antivirus, or not have an antivirus at all, which I don't recommend not having an antivirus, especially if you're on Windows 7, as that lost support all the way back in 2020, and it's probably not the most secure thing to use without an AV. Personally, I'm just going to stick with installing the definition updates manually, as I don't really use Windows 7 systems often. I made this video because I'm sure some people out there still use Windows 7 and may have Microsoft Security Essentials installed, and they're not aware that they're not receiving updates anymore. For all we know, this could be a bug because Microsoft is still providing the updates on their website, and even for Security Essentials. So they're still providing them, meaning that this could just be some weird issue that's preventing it from getting the update. Anyways, yeah, we found a solution, so I guess I'll just be sticking with this. It's easier to just quickly install a definition update when I need it than to deal with any other third-party AVs, as honestly, they're not that great anyway. So with that, I bring the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you've experienced this problem before. And thanks to my channel members, which are Samir Yoshizawa, Dylan Veet, The Full Moon, Overgreen, Sidevlogs, DJ1928, Dencorn, VDWR, Ritu, Leo, Lime Lips People, Andre Partararu, Fumamo Takadadia, Prometita Tech, Planebrick346, Cyclone, Yamika, Aqua95, Omega, and all the other channel members. I really appreciate the support as it really helps out this channel. Anyways, thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.